या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणा वरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेष जाड्यापहा.
The Indus Valley civilization, known also as the Harappan civilization, was a Bronze Age civilization that flourished between 3300 and 1300 BCE, mainly in the northwestern part of the Indian subcontinent, including parts of present-day Pakistan, northwest India, as well as some regions in northeast Afghanistan. Along with ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia, it was one of the three early civilizations of the Old World, and the most widespread among them, covering an area of 1.25 million square kilometers. It flourished in the basins of some of the major rivers of the time. But how did this civilization that flourished for nearly 2 millennia and included such major urban centers like Harappa, Lothal, Dholavira, Rakhigadi and Mohenjo-daro become extinct?
The evidence points to the wrath of nature. A number of studies have shown that the area that is today the Thar Desert was once far wetter. It is possible that the process of drying up had begun as early as 2600 BCE. But around 2200 BCE, the monsoons became weaker and there were prolonged droughts. But around this time, the Harappans were faced with an even bigger problem: the drying up of the river system on which this civilization was based. Most of the settlements of the civilization was around a river that we now know as the Ghaggar and not the Indus, as widely believed earlier. The Ghaggar is now little more than a dry riverbed that fills up with water only during the monsoons. However, surveys and satellite pictures commissioned by various agencies, including ISRO, GSI, as well as the Government of India, confirm that the Ghaggar was once a great river that rose in the Bandarput range in the Himalayas as the Supin, converged downriver with another local stream, the Rupin, to form the Tons, entered the plains in Haryana, flowed through the Thar Cholistan desert in Rajasthan and eastern Sindh, and then reached the Arabian Sea in the Rann of Kutch. Satellite images show that both the Satluj and the Yamuna once flew into the Ghaggar. This means that it would have been a truly great river. In Haryana, one of the seasonal tributaries of the Ghaggar is called the Saraswati.
The Rig Veda, considered sacred by the Hindus and widely believed to be the oldest book in the world, is said to have been composed during the Bronze Age, approximately between 4000 BCE and 2000 BCE. Whereas it primarily contains prayers, hymns, philosophy, as well as instructions for rituals and fire sacrifices, it also contains beautiful descriptions of geography and the natural environment. The Rig Veda repeatedly talks about a great river called the Saraswati. The Saraswati is praised as the greatest of rivers in at least 45 of its hymns, whereas the Ganga is barely mentioned once. But where was this Vedic river Saraswati located? The Nadi Stuti Sukta, which lists all the great rivers of the time from east to west, starting with the Ganga, clearly places the Saraswati between the Yamuna and the Satluj. There is only one river that fits the description, the Ghaggar, the Vedic Saraswati. In 1998, the Central Groundwater Commission had 24 wells varying from 40 meters to 140 meters in depth dug in a stretch of the dried up bed of the so-called Saraswati. In Rajasthan, 23 of these wells uncovered subterranean flows of sweet water. The isotopic test of these water samples, conducted at the Bhabha Atomic Research Center, found these to be Himalayan glacial water.
Ambitame, Naditame, Devitame Saraswati, Aprashasta iva smasi, Prashasti mamba naskridhi.
The Saraswati, which was lovingly praised in this Rigvedic Sutra as the greatest of mothers, the greatest of rivers, and the greatest of goddesses, lost her way into the deserts of history. But whereas opinion is divided if it is the great river that still flows on beneath the desert sands, there is no doubt that the mother and the goddess lived on in the hearts of a people for millennia.
Shuklang Brahma Vichar Sar Parama Madhyang Jagadvapinim Vrina Pustakadharinim Abhayadang Jadyandhakarapaham Haste Spartika Malikang Vidadhating Padmasane Sangsthitam Vande Twang Parameshwaring Bhagavating Buddhi Pradam Sharadam
Shubhro Ashane Virajo Oruno Chata Majhe.
The constant interplay between our inner seeking and the innate state of knowledge within which we are unaware, the dialectic between becoming and being, which is the cornerstone of the Upanishads, takes on a mystical and devotional hue in tradition in the personification of Goddess Saraswati as the muse of learning and knowledge, whether in her riverine form or Swarupa, as she is exalted in the Rigveda, nourishing an entire civilization on her banks, or in a Shubhravasana, or in white attire, the feminine form inspiring all creative energies, Saraswati represents the ever-flowing stream of consciousness within. Saraswati is one of the three forms in which Devi, the mother goddess, is usually imagined.
Om Viddodam Samaprabham Mrigapati Skandhasthitam Bhishanam Kanyabhikarvalket Vilasad Dhastabhira Sevitam Hastaish Chakradharaliket Vishikham Shchapangurang Tarjanim Bibhranamanalaatmikam Shashidharam Durgam Trinetram Bhaje.
In Indian thought, Brahman, the supreme godhead, which is nothing but cosmic energy, is thought to have two aspects. The inert or passive aspect, which is the source of energy or potential energy, is usually imagined as God, and in iconography is normally represented as Shiva, lost in meditation or lying at the feet of the dancing goddess. The active aspect, which is the manifested universe, or in other words, every experience that we can perceive through our five sense organs, our emotions and our thoughts, is imagined as the mother goddess.
Om Namo Devai Mahadevai Shivai Satatang Namah Namah Prakritai Bhadrayai Niyata प्रणतास्मताम् रौद्रायै नमो नित्यायै गौर्यै धात्रै नमो नमः ज्योत्स्नायै चेन्दुरूपिण्यै सुखायै सततं नमः कल्याण्यै प्रणता वृद्धै सिद्धै कुर्मो नमो नमः नैऋत्यै भ्रुवृतां लक्ष्मै शर्वाण्यै ते नमो नमः दुर्गायै दुर्गपारायै सारायै सर्वकारिण्यै ख्यात्यै तथैव कृष्णायै धूम्रायै सततं नमः अतिसौम्यातिरौद्रायै नतास्तस्यै नमो नमः नमो जगत्प्रतिष्ठायै देवैकृत्यै नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु विष्णुमायेति शब्दिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः.
As the mother declares in the holy Chandi,
Ekaivaham jagattatra dvitiyaka mamapara. It's only me who exists in this universe. There is no second one.
but the question is, if it's only her and no one else, why is it that we have thousands of different experiences, but we never seem to experience her? That is because she is also Mahamaya, the great delusion. The delusion that she creates hides God or the ultimate reality from everyone save the true seeker. Simply put, the Great Mother creates delusion at 3 levels.
The lowest level of energy with which she distracts is known as tamas, literally darkness. At the level of the individual, this manifests as all action triggered solely by physical urges, like a tiger hunting to satisfy its hunger. At the level of the universe, this manifests as the wild, untamed, untamable aspect of nature with which one can never fight and win. In iconography, Mother Goddess, in her tamasic form, is represented by the dancing Kali.
Kali, Kali, bolo re aaj, bolo ho, 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 bolo ho, 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 bolo ho, namer jore shadi ho kaaj, bolo ho. রঙ্গ মাঝারে ওই লক্ষ লক্ষ যক্ষ লক্ষ ঘেরি শ্যামারে ওই লট্ট পট্ট কেশ অট্ট অট্ট হাসে রে আরে বল রে শ্যামা মায়ের জয় 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 আরে বল রে শ্যামা মায়ের জয় 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 আরে বল রে শ্যামা মায়ের.
But nature is not merely wild and destructive. As the Ishopanishad says, Isha Vasyamidang Sarvang Yat Kincha Jagatyang Jagat. Nature, or Devi, which creates, nurtures, sustains, and enriches, is also an inspiration to work hard, to overcome adversity, to aspire for a good life, to leverage resources, to create wealth and value. Rajas, this higher form of energy, which drives and motivates us, is represented in iconography as the beautiful Lakshmi, the goddess of grace.
Dharma, which is the approximate Sanskrit word for religion, is derived from the root dhri, which means that which holds. What holds at the lowest level is self-interest, swadharma, but what holds at the highest level is shared values, sanatana dharma, the highest aspect of Devi, sattvika energy, that urges us to travel beyond physical prosperity inspires us to enter the realm of the aesthetics, the arts, all learning, and ultimately cross over beyond the final fortress guarding the ultimate reality. Durga, a fortress in the feminine expression, is worshipped as Saraswati, the Sara or essence of Swa or self. To quote from the speaking tree, Saraswati represents the ever-flowing stream of consciousness within. She also represents the ever-engaged mind. She represents our intellect both as Tikshma Buddhi or gross intellect, that is cognition, as well as subtle intellect, Sukshma Buddhi, the aspect of the intellect that allows us to discriminate between right and wrong values, as well as between what is permanent and what is transient, that is spiritual knowledge.
The common form of Saraswati, originally worshipped as a river goddess in honor of the great Saraswati River of northwest India, earlier thought to be mythical, has evolved over centuries through considered iconography. Let us read from a brief passage by Sri Pranav Kullar on the goddess that was published in the Speaking Tree column of the Times of India. Why is Saraswati depicted wearing white? The color white is a symbol of the purity of true knowledge which she bestows on the seeker. Similarly, her association with the swan and the peacock too stress the wisdom aspect. The swan is said to have the ability to separate milk from water and drink milk only, which is a metaphor of the way a seeker has to continually discriminate between what is real and permanent and what is transient. The peacock's vanity at its own beautiful plumage is a reminder of how a true seeker of knowledge has to learn to detach himself from the body by understanding the transitory nature of physical appearance. Saraswati is also Vak or speech, the essence of sound, by which the world of name and form is realized. Through Vak, the seeker is led to a state beyond cognition. Her four arms, sometimes seen as representing the four Vedas, also represent the four facets of the human cognitive psyche: Manas or mind, Buddhi or intellect, Chitta or consciousness, and Ahankara or ego, all of which are interwoven in the fabric of creation. She is the muse of all creative endeavor, and creativity implies seeking, delving deep into the self.
It is initiation into learning, the beginning of a long journey into the mind and beyond, which is sought to be started on Vasant Panchami, a day on which Saraswati is specially remembered. Traditionally, children are initiated into the Aksharabhyasam ceremony, ritually invoking the goddess before they begin their formal school education. The artist and the ascetic both rededicate themselves to the path of self-knowledge, one seeking to arouse his creative potential, and the other seeking the Bindu, which is at the source of creation. Dharmecha arthecha kamecha mokshecha bharatarshava yadihasti tadanyatra yannehasti nakutrachit. According to the late Professor P. Lal, the Mahabharata's central message is this: the point of life is to transform. Transform lust to love. Transform the quest for money to the quest for meaning. Transform ritual to spiritual. And transform escape to liberation. Transform, in other words, the lower to the higher. Tamas to Rajas and Rajas to Sattva. Saraswati represents the ultimate stage in this transformation. as she stands for knowledge, wisdom, light, and moksha. As we remember her on this auspicious day, may she guide us from falsehood to truth, from darkness to light, from this mortal world to a deathless place.
मांच यो व्यभिचारेण भक्ति योगेन सेवते सगुणान् समतीतैतान् ब्रह्म भूयाय कल्पते। ब्रह्मणो हि प्रतिष्ठाहम् अमृतस्याव्ययस्य च शाश्वतस्य च धर्मस्य सुखस्यैकान्तिकस्य च।